Hey everybody, welcome to Health and Science session for today. Today I want to focus on mental health. And the first thing we're going to do is I am going to ask you to get a piece of paper, a pen, or a pencil. So I'll give you a few minutes to get that done real quick. I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a list of words. Don't do anything, just listen first, okay? Here are your words. I'm going to say them slowly and clearly. The ones that are not real words, I will say, and then I will spell them for you, okay? Pencil. Tig. T-I-G. Bex. B-E-X. Washington. Tall. T-A-L. Rouge. R-U-J. Notebook. Bex. B-E-X. Lincoln. Impose. Nav. N-A-V. Submit. Rouge. R-U-J. 53. Fet. F-E-T. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Pencil. Tig. T-I-G. Bex. B-E-X. Washington. Tall. T-A-L. Rouge. R-U-J. Notebook. Bex. B-E-X. Lincoln. Impose. Nav. N-A-V. Submit. Rouge. R-U-J. 53. Fet. F-E-T. I want you guys to write down every item that you can remember. I'm going to set a timer. So I'm going to give you a minute. And if you guys get done before that, just let me know. $30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 'And stop. Okay, now I'm going to show you a quick video on short-term memory. Share my screen with you guys.
It stays inside our iconic memory. are stored in our long-term memory. In this video, however, we're going to be focusing on the short-term memory storage. Now, this storage has limits, and in some cases can actually be destroyed. If you want to learn the basics on short-term memory, I'm here to explain to you how we store and process memories, as well as the ways that we can improve our ability to remember information. So first off, short-term memory is very important because it holds information between sensory memory and long-term memory. So for example, we might see a phone number on a piece of paper. It stays inside our iconic memory, or visual memory, which is a form of sensory memory, for less than 4 seconds until it gets transferred to our short-term memory if we pay attention to it. That way we can do stuff with it, like tell it to another person or write it down before it fades away. Then, if it's important enough to us, or if we have an emotional attachment to it, we will store that phone number in our long-term memory. See, you wouldn't want everything that's in your sensory memory going straight to long-term memory, or you just run out of space to store it all. So in a sense, short-term memory gives us a buffer to decide if we want to keep information for good or to forget about it by choosing to give it attention and effort. Secondly, let's get to the technical definition. Short-term memory refers to the ability to hold a small amount of information in your mind for a short period of time. Now, there are two important qualities of short-term memory is that you can't manipulate the information, unlike working memory, which is something I'll talk about in another video, and it has a very limited duration. Our short-term memory storage goes through a lot of disposal. We can only remember things for so long. But how much of that information can you store in your short-term memory, and how long will this information last? Well, the exact numbers differ for everyone, but research on short-term memory has given us a good estimate of the average duration and capacity of short-term memory storage. Let's start with capacity. In the world of psychology, the magic number of items that you can store in your short-term memory is 7 plus or minus 2. Now, this magic number is based off of a paper written by American psychologist George Miller, and it has been studied so much that we basically accept it as true. Now, there are ways to hack this capacity, but we'll get to that soon. If you're curious, you can actually test your own short-term memory capacity using my free memory test at the end of this video. Secondly, the duration. You can only keep 7 plus or minus 2 items in your head for so long. If you make no effort to remember these items, they'll quickly disappear in a matter of seconds. You can, however, stretch this duration out to 30 seconds if you actively rehearse and repeat the items in your head. However, many psychologists do say that technically you're just remembering what you last said instead of remembering what you initially said. So now that we know the capacity and the duration, let's get on to some theories of forgetting. Well, why do we forget? Why do pieces of information leave our short-term memory after a period of time? One of the explanations is the decay theory, also called the trace decay theory of forgetting. The theory is relatively simple. It states that memories decay over time. When the memory is initially created, it leaves a trace of chemical changes in our brain, and as time passes, that trace fades away. On one hand, this theory is perfectly sensible. We're more likely to remember a phone number told to us 2 minutes ago than a phone number that was told to us 2 weeks ago. We're likely to remember what we ate yesterday, but less likely to recall what we ate on a specific date 4 years ago. In most cases, however. On the other hand, this theory has been disputed, partly because people do have such strong memories of certain dates in their lives. People may recall significant or insignificant pieces of information from a long time ago, and we just don't know why. Not all memories fade away. According to this theory, if you don't want the information to fade away, you just have to relearn it. This graph shows how much of a list is retained during each relearning period. It makes sense, right? We have no need to remember something if we don't use it often. However, the more that we use it, the more it would make sense to try to remember it. In fact, relearning is the first way we can remember things better. As you see in this graph, each time we try to learn something, the rate at which we forget is less and less. This is why studying for a test works so well. You're basically just relearning the information. In short, this theory of forgetting is called the decay theory. But let's move on to another theory. Let's say you might remember what you had for breakfast yesterday, but not what you had for breakfast 2 years ago. There's a lot that happened in your short-term memory between 2 years ago and yesterday. You had over 600 breakfasts, 600 lunches, 600 dinners. You were asked to remember phone numbers and study for tests and make mental notes of your friends' birthdays. Even if you tried your hardest to remember what you had for breakfast on a specific date, there are so many things that distracted you and your memory, and it was just never stored long-term. Now, this is another theory that tries to explain why we forget things. We simply displace previous memories with newer memories. In a study by Glanzier and Kudins, researchers gave participants a list of information to memorize. The participants were separated into two groups. The first group recalled the items immediately. However, the second group was given a distraction task to complete for a few seconds before also being asked to recall the information. Now, the results from both of these groups supported the serial position effect. The information at the beginning and the end was more likely to be recalled by participants. However, the group that completed the distraction task were much less likely to recall the items at the end of the list. Psychologists figure that those items were stored in short-term memory, but with the distractions, they were displaced quickly. The distraction task displaced all of the original list. This theory of forgetting is called the displacement theory. Now, we can't talk about short-term memory storage without talking about our favorite fish that doesn't have short-term memory. Yes, I'm talking about Dory. Dory's most unique characteristic was her inability to hold on to information for more than a few seconds. Now, while it's funny during the movie, it has led many people to wonder, is short-term memory loss a real condition? And it is. The technical name for it is anterograde amnesia. Now, anterograde amnesia is a condition in which people develop a partial or a complete inability to recall the recent past. Memories are created, but often immediately forgotten or decayed.
Okay,
Even
I'm
after
going to
just
stop
5
there. And now I need you guys to take your piece of paper, fold it, rip it. However, leave one section where you can still write on, but that you cannot see what you wrote. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I need for you guys to write down the words that you remember hearing me say. And remember, you're not looking at your other list. You're just going off of what you remember.
I'm good.
Okay, Kiana, you good? All right. Blaine, I'm sending you a message to let you know what's going on. We're getting ready to do it one more time, okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm trying to send you one. There we go. Okay, Devontae, let me find a pen real quick. How many words did you write down the first time?
Like almost all of them.
Can you count how many it was?
It was like 20 something.
Okay, Kiana, how many words did you write down the first time?
8.
Okay, now compare that with your second list. How many words did you write down on the second go round?
6.
You said 6?
Yeah.
I only wrote 2.
Ah. All right. So the question is, why do you think your number decreased? What happened?
Because I got short-term memory loss.
It doesn't mean you have short-term memory loss,
But
but it's because you were distracted. When I played the video, even though we were learning something, it was educational. We were talking about short-term memory, but it distracted you. You couldn't focus on what I had told you before. All right, so now I'm going to do it one more time. This time I'm going to read a list of sentences, okay?
No, I ain't gonna remember nothing.
Well, just do your best. That's all I ask is that you try. So Blaine, this time I'm going to read sentences. I'm going to read them twice. And then I'm going to have you to write down what all you remember me saying, okay? So grab a piece of paper and a pen and pencil.
Do I have to write it down or can I just remember it? Or can I put it in my
Right
notes?
now you're listening.
Okay. Can I put it in my notes?
You can't write anything down yet. Not
Okay,
until I tell you to write.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Rainy days are better than sunny days. It's hard to find a good place in the city. You'd be surprised what a nuisance seagulls can be. All right, round two. Here we go. Rainy days are better than sunny days. It's hard to find a good place in the city. You'd be surprised what a nuisance seagulls can be. You may write.
Wait, can I just like type it down?
That's fine, as
Okay.
long as you put it somewhere. Are we done?
Yeah, I am.
Devontae, how you coming?
Good.
Blaine,
Well,
you got
not.
it all typed in?
Huh?
You got it all typed up, however you're recording it. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get nothing, but
Well, it's okay. We're just gonna try. Okay. I'm gonna show you another quick video. And then we're gonna repeat our process again, okay? I think there's an ad. 1 second. And another ad. Okay, let me share my screen with you. They are supposed to be fishing. So let's see how well this works for them.
Yeah. Nè. Dữ lắm. Hả? Mặt nó mới đâu có nè. Thôi thôi. Khốt ra. Thôi bà. Tôi vào mặt xuống bên ngoài. Đến ra. Bên. Nó vô. Tôi cho dùng xăm cà phê. Đủ lắm ạ. Cảm ơn nhiều con đấy mà. Cột vậy. Đủ thế rồi, mệt thế thảo là.
Not quite sure how that made them go fishing. But anyway, we thank them for their services. So now I'm going to ask you guys to flip that sheet of paper over, fold it, however, and you are going to write or type what you remember from the sentences that I read to you. I will give you a minute. Are you ready? Get set, go. Blaine, are you up with us? You're writing down or typing what you remember for the second time without looking at what you remembered from the first time.
Yeah, yeah, I'm typing it down. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And time is up. We're going to start with Kiana this time. Kiana, how many sentences or how many words out of each sentence did you recall?
Can I just say what I have?
That's
Or-
fine.
Okay, I wrote down, rainy days are so much better than sunny days. It's such a nice day in the city, and what a nuisance seagulls can be.
Okay. Devontae, what you got?
All I remember is some rain and some sun.
Okay. Blaine, what did you write down?
I wrote down rainy days are better than sunny days. It's kind of hard to find a place in the city.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna repeat these sentences to you and you guys count how many words you actually got right. Rainy days are better than sunny days. It's hard to find a good place in the city. You'd be surprised what a nuisance seagulls can be. Blaine, we'll start with you. How many words are correct?
Sorry, hang on. $14.
Okay. Devontae?
What was the question again?
Out of the sentences that I read, how many words did you actually have right?
2.
Okay. Kiana?
17.
Okay. So what I was trying to prove or point out to you guys is that when you freshly hear something, you're more likely to remember it. Every time you get distracted, then you lose that thought, right?
Yeah.
Because totally watching those people fish or digging mud, whatever they were doing, had nothing to do with our sentences. But the purpose of our sentences was actually talking about somebody going fishing. If I would have kept going, that was the main focus of those sentences. So right now I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want us to focus on mental health still, but how it affects, hold on one second, let me find that. How it's going to affect us by our, where's the question? By the color of our skin. Okay. So do you think that certain colored people or different I can't even get it out. Different ethnic
Ethnicity?
groups, there we go. Different ethnic groups have different mental health issues? And if so, why would you think that? Go ahead, Blaine.
What was the question?
Looking at different ethnic groups, do you think certain ones suffer more from mental health issues than others? And if so, why?
You glitched out.
Okay. If certain ethnic groups, if they suffer from mental issues, why would they suffer from them?
What ethnic groups?
It doesn't matter, like different ones. So you can look at all of them. There are Caucasians, there are African Americans, there are Mexicans, there are Chinese, there are Japanese. Do you think everybody has certain mental health issues that they suffer with based on their culture?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Could you explain, like, if you have one, what would you consider a mental health issue?
Honestly, I don't.
All right, Devontae, what do you think?
I don't know about that. Oh no.
Okay, Kiana, what do you think?
I think that every human being has the capability of suffering from any type of mental issue or mental health issue, but depending on the culture, like depending on the climate or where you grew up and different family values and stuff like that, then every culture can have like their own level or own set of mental health issues that they struggle with. But I don't necessarily think that any set of issues is worse off than any other person's. It just depends, or any other cultures. It just depends on what those things are, because better or worse is subjective.
Thank you. You answered that question perfectly. That's exactly what I wanted to bring out, is that most people, I guess now with like the Black Lives Matter moves or whatever, if we're tying into Black History Month, they kind of associate everybody under that same heading, right? If you say something about Black Lives Matter, then oh, okay, then you think this, you think that. Okay, but not only are we looking at why people are doing it, but we need to think of their process behind it. Some people, like, because this is Black History Month, you have to take in to count that people are looking back at what happened in the past. So that's going to alter somebody's mental state as well. Does anybody else agree or disagree?
Absolutely.
I agree on that.
Okay, so that's all that I was going to share with you guys today. Thank you for participating, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the ice and the snow if it comes tomorrow.
It's supposed to come today.
Well, that's fine too. It can come right now, and I'd be happy.
It's
I
fun.
ain't gonna do nothing. You're gonna be looking stupid.
in Greensboro.
You gonna wake up at 3. Where's the snow at? You won't see nothing. If it snow, it probably ain't gonna stick.
It might, though. I mean, the ground's still kind of saturated. I did walk through the grass today and got mud all on my shoes.
It depends.